I feel good. I was ready to play more.
Pep, how does 7.5 hours on the touchline sound to you?
It's like Tiger Woods in a 5-iron.
I was going to say the same thing.
Yes.
Today, thanks to PUMA, we're bringing two geniuses together from the world of football and the world of chess. We are joined by Pep Guardiola and Magnus Carlsen. Thank you for joining us. We're going to take a look at your greatest moves. But first, before we start, Pep, I have to ask you about Magnus, and I have to ask you about chess. Are you into your chess at all?
When I was a little boy,
Yeah.
I started to play. My father teach me a little bit, but immediately I realized I could not beat Magnus, and that's why I said, okay, I quit. That was my decision.
And that was the moment. And back to you, Magnus, about Pep Guardiola and your love for football.
Yeah, I've loved football since I was little. I played a lot of football like every day. I didn't actually come home from school. I just stayed at the school to play football. Then I come home to play chess. It turned out I was better at chess, so I continued to do that.
That was definitely a good choice. Do you see any parallels between chess and football?
Yes, for sure. I think both in chess and football, the important thing is to control the middle. So that's one thing, that if you control the middle, you control the pitch or the board. And another thing is that often in chess also you attack on one side, force the opponent to overload, and then you switch. And you have an advantage on the other side. So in terms of space, it's remarkably similar.
Now, Pep, you must be impressed with the insight from,
That's
from
right.
Magnus
That's right.
there.
That's nice. It's it is right. What he said is completely. And I think the way you have to attack defense, but the attack depends on the movement of the opponent. So you have to pay attention with the other, the opponent does in every single movement and react in that. So he has not 2 hours to make the next movement. We have a second, to react or take a decision. It depends what's going on.
Well, I think everybody watching at home, we are in for a great few minutes. Let's get on with the clips, and let's start with a clip that many City fans will probably remember. Pep, I don't know if you can recognise it straight away. It was a goal scored by Phil Foden against Nottingham Forest.
Yeah, I remember because it's this season. It's close, and everyone, you see the image, and everyone is in his position. And yeah, sometimes, like Magnus said, you are in the left side, and now attack the right side, he had to be quicker. So now you need these kind of situations, actions 1 against 1, be patient, in the right moment punish them. In this type of situations, you have to be careful to not make a transition for the opponent. When you lose the ball, is a void they can run. How is the moment? Here go, the left, movement in the right, runs in behind and finish. So all the process, like Manu said, here back, attack on the other side, overload, and the quality of the pass from Rodri, the Kyle, and the finishing from Phil.
46 passes in that move, Magnus. That's very, very impressive. How important is patience in chess as well? Because Pep just spoke about the patience and the build-up and stuff like that as well.
Yeah, I can very much recognize the same thing, that that's often what happens in chess. You maneuver, try to find weaknesses, and then a crack appears, and then it all, goes very, very quickly. But once you mentioned that it's Foden against Forest, I remembered the goal, and I was really looking forward to the last move, because it's really beautiful.
No, let's move on in the clips, and let's look at some of your clips, Magnus. This one is against Wesley So. What do you remember from this situation you were in?
I'd lost to Wesley a couple of matches, and I just remember, time is ticking down. We're both down to seconds. I was not playing so well. We're both nervous, but I got it through, and got a big win.
How do you stay calm in such a high-pressure environment?
Yeah. I think the simple answer is sometimes you just don't. You just keep a little more calm than your opponents. Usually what I do in big moments is I try to slow down for a bit if I have the time, focus on just breathing slowly. If that doesn't work, then I'm probably in trouble.
And Pep, the same question for you. You've played in enormously high-pressure environments. How do you keep your emotions in check?
No, you're right. Sometimes when you have something wrong, and sometimes I don't know what's happening. In that moment, like Manu said, the better is, okay, take a breath, relax 1 minute, okay? Football dictates sometimes the situation for yourself, and maybe in 3 minutes or 5 minutes, you will find the solution. You get more anxious and nervous, no chance to find the right solution. Here doesn't look like he's controlling the middle.
No.
Here,
for
no,
sure.
eh?
No.
Ah, okay.
But now, like, the key factor here is I have this pawn, yeah? It's almost queening. So unless he can eliminate this one, I will win.
And win he did. Amazing. Let's move on to the next clip now. This one is a counter-attacking goal.
Yeah, it's a transition.
A
yeah.
different goal, but a beautiful goal in itself. What do you remember
Yeah,
from this one?
We don't like to play the counter-attack, but you have to use it. And of course, all the situations that Joao and keep it Fernandinho make the action from here. We had 2 against 1 at the end. So they attack, and sometimes you have to punish. The cross is incredible. It's perfect, and the finishing for Bernardo as well. So in that situation in football, sometimes you rely on your instinct, you know? In that moment, Bernardo, you don't have to think. Rely on instinct, just technique. It's not power. Just use perfect the body, and yeah, the quality make the rest.
And sometimes I imagine we've scored so many beautiful goals with you as our manager. Are you just in awe of finishes like that? Because that's incredible, isn't it, from Bernardo?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So they are gifted. That guys, they are incredible talent. Look the control from Riyadh. Don't lose it, you know. Is it in your 80-yard box? You know that all the people here when they that boom out. Here have to use the body too, and with the perfect position for Fernandinho, and Fernandinho make the transition. Without Riyadh in that movement, everything would not be possible.
What about with chess, Magnus? Is there any opportunities where you can turn like a defensive situation into an attacking in a matter of moves?
Yeah, absolutely. Once again, it's the same. It's the same principle. Sometimes if you push forward in chess and you can sit, you can defend, and sometimes you get opportunities to counterattack, and there's again the space in behind. So it's quite similar.
What about the strategy, Pep, in games like this? Like when it's sometimes difficult to break down an opponent.
Yeah, sometimes we respect one type of game. Sometimes you honestly you wait some, and after the opponent thought completely opposite. Trick is in during the first minutes say, oh, we have to do it differently, one or two aspects. Yeah, sometimes maybe it's the most difficult thing.
And Magnus, what about you? Changing tactics, do you often do that when things potentially aren't going your way, or is it a case of you have a game plan from the outset and you try and stick to it?
It's so nice to listen to this, by the way. Just trying to learn. Yeah, I think sometimes you change strategies based on what your opponent is doing. Sometimes if you're if it's not going too well, if it's hard to break down, sometimes you change, or sometimes also you stick to the same plan. And if your opponent doesn't make mistakes, you don't score. It's the same thing. So you have to just make it difficult for them.
This is a different type of goal, an untypical Pep goal, if I may say. It's the unpredictability.
But it works, Pep.
The people say, how are we going to attack? And I'll tell me how the opponent is going to defend me. And here, Brighton, for my friend Roberto De Cher, we decided to play man-to-man. So man-to-man, it means just Eddie is alone. And every player has his own man. And in the right moment, Erling runs, and it's a man-to-man. If you win that duel, normally, I'm not a big fan of that, but it's like a counter-attack. You have to use it sometimes. It's like Tiger Woods in a 5-iron.
I was going to say the same thing.
Yes. So, and you have to use it. So when that happens, Erling have 2 or 3 defenders. We don't do that, never, ever. But when it's man-to-man, 1 against 1, why don't you use it there sometimes? So we use it and it works. So you have to adapt, you have to attack differently. You attack completely different in one way and the other one. And these are 2 examples for Nottingham Forest first clip, and this is example. It's perfect.
It absolutely is perfect.
Another final, another display of attacking mastery. What do you remember about this, Magnus?
This was like a typical counterattack. Like I was being pressured most of the game. Then he made one mistake. And as you could see, like the space, there are like open spaces around my king. But at some point, like he let one of my pieces in, and then the counterattack just flew. Like all of my pieces got in attacking positions all of a sudden, and like 4 or 5 quick moves, you know, it was checkmate on the other side.
It was indeed, but you actually played a game against Ian which lasted so long, 7.5 hours, 136 moves. First things first, how were you feeling after that marathon when you played against him?
I felt good. I was ready to play more.
Yeah.
Because because that was the key breakthrough. That was the moment I've been waiting for the first 6 games of that match. And I remember, like, I was so calm, so focused for the last 2.5 hours. I was playing with very little time on my clock, but I knew, like, this is my chance. Like, if I win this game, I'm probably winning another world championship. So I knew that was my moment. And afterwards, I was just so calm. And yeah, I even told like my manager after, like, yeah, I was ready to go like 3 more hours if I needed to. I was gonna get that win.
Pep, how does 7.5 hours on the touchline sound to you?
No way. No way. No way. He felt like that, but I cannot imagine 7 hours being focused in one thing. Being 7 hours there is because, of course, it's his passion, his love, the best. And that's why he can do it, he can handle it. That's why he's world champion many times.
Well, listen, I could sit here, and I think everybody watching at home feels the same. We could listen to you guys and spread your wisdom for hours on end, but unfortunately, that's all we've got time for. A massive thank you, Pep and Magnus, for joining us. A massive thank you to PUMA for making it all possible. This was Pep Guardiola and Magnus Carlsen's greatest moves.